before as well, and now he has the time to just get new energy in his legs and also probably have a little breather on the bench.
The intensity is good here from Frankfurt. Knauf for Burkhardt. Bad test for him. Burkhardt, what can he do? He can play for Knauf and Shaibi, but the flag's up. The flag is up, I think, more on Knauf as it was played into him.
But this is again describing Johnny Burkhardt as a player, as a striker. He's not just that striker in the box waiting for the ball. I mentioned his work rate and the amount of runs he's doing also outside of the box, and then you can see he can also play a little bit with the ball and create chances also for his teammates, and not just score and not just be clinical himself.
That's the thing with Eintracht Frankfurt, and we talk about those strikers through the years. They've all been different kinds of strikers, aren't they? Different styles. Really always been about a number 9 penalty box striker, if you like. Adeyemi was the last one in the way. Shaibi making the move. Valdemar Anton clears away. Desire here from Bayer to try and keep it in play. He has done absolutely brilliantly to get a corner out of that.
And there you can see the quality, the speed the Dortmund offensive players have as well, is just him knowing that he can reach that ball, and that's all he can do here is getting a corner out of the section.
Playing it back off Rasmus Christensen. Player making a permanent move to the club after his loan spell here from Leeds United. Set piece for Dortmund. Brandt with the flick on, and Zesma wants to go and punch. Not the cleanest and not the most comfortable moment. Stuck at the last 3 now after his move from Werder Bremen. Michael Zetarek, how Santos have been brought back in. Conceded a lot of goals, a change around again. Huge cry from the goalkeeper on this occasion, and he takes claim.
And little actions like this, for example, he's so important, etc., for the team to stabilize the defensive actions at the moment, and this is probably exactly the move why Dino Topmöller decided to rule out Pawar Santos again, because it wasn't a great comeback and probably a bit unlucky for him as well at a time where Frankfurt wasn't stable enough, and now they just also a bit of like Girassi, maybe a creative break for him as well to get a breather, and doesn't mean that he's out for the rest of the season. It's just a time that he can get some energy back, get some clear heads, and him getting some playing time as well, because he's a great goalkeeper. He proved that in the last years at Werder Bremen.
Went out of the first round stage last year, Michael Zetero with Bremen. Reyes on, nothing wrong with that challenge. Oh, Adeyemi, great skills away from Teat. But he can't continue. Here's Götze. Get his starts in cup matches, Mario Götze, not necessarily in the Bundesliga this season. There's Anselmino. A couple of months out with injury from a Boca Juniors player. Adeyemi again. I hope things will go better for him here tonight and not need to take his frustration out on a water bottle as he did against Köln at the weekend. Here he is again, Adeyemi. 17 minutes. Eintracht Frankfurt scoring with their first shot of the game. So Ansgar Knauf. Adiemi. Topmuller and co. Wanting a handball out of that, but Sven Jablonski saying play on. Anton does have it in him in terms of his range of passing. Just a bit of a radar there for Valdemar Anton. Too good from Adiemi. I guess it's more a consistent thing with Karim Adiemi. But that's one of the more frustrating things about his time at Borussia Dortmund. Seeing it those kind of moments on a more consistent basis.
And probably him now being more consistent. It's just a matter of the whole team being more consistent now, and it's something Niko Kovac brought in somehow. He brought in consistency, which a lot of coaches couldn't really bring to this team. And there was a time when people were saying this team is uncoachable, kind of, because they have great players, they have great quality. Seeing Julian Brandt, for example, being there for years now, Adeyemi, you see Girassi, but in the last years they could never really put this on the pitch on a regular basis, and now they finally bring it on the pitch because they're not just playing while they're playing all on the same page. And this is credits to Niko Kovac, something he brought in, which not a lot of people, I think, could see this coming with him being the coach, and not too many people had too much trust in him, I felt like, before.
Yeah, you feel like he's always trying to make a point, isn't he, Niko Kovac? And possibly doesn't get the credit that he does deserve for what he has achieved in his coaching career. Only Bayern and Werder Bremen have won the cup more than these two. Bayern way ahead, it has to be said. These two have won it on 5 occasions each. Werder Bremen on 6. Could be a milestone hit for Borussia Dortmund tonight. Should they equalise tonight, it will be their 500th goal in the cup and their 300th played in away games in the competition. Burkhardt would have been offside, I think, but Knauf, the target here, needed to be cut out by Marcel Sabitzer, and was. So the chance for Koch to make his way up. Be the long one here from Artur Teat. And cause some havoc in there. Adiemi still alive, courtesy of Götze. Shaibi to Diop, and all the way back to Michael Zetterer. Absolutely launched, and that's commanding from Gregor Kobel. Look at the changes in goal at the other end for Eintracht Frankfurt. He is the immovable object in goal for Borussia Dortmund. Towards Burkhardt, and on for Knauf. Wouldn't come down for him in time. They give it away back to Christensen. They had to slow it down here for Eintracht Frankfurt, currently 6th in the Bundesliga. A needed win against St. Pauli at the weekend. Knauf, was that one? Yes, it was. What a challenge. Anselmino. Knauf thinks that it should have been a free kick, but I think it was just too good a tackle.
Probably didn't expect a clean tackle like this flying in.
There's Robin Koch. Ferrato Teat. There was many changes made by Dino Topmuller than what was made by Niko Kovac for this one. Mentioned that it was a needed win against St. Pauli at the weekend, 3 defeats in 4 before that. That was the challenge.
Perfect.
Reservation. Brown in the way. Marcel Sabitzer. Anselmino again for Sabitzer again. Cooley spelling him on the turn, and then on the drive, and then running into trouble. Reservation now. Floats it in. Header from Bellingham is over the top. His only goal for the club. They get the Club World Cup. It's Mamelodi Sundowns.
That's a bit the start of how Borussia Dortmund wants to play here in Frankfurt. They want to control the game, they want to dominate, they want to have a lot of possession and dominate the ball, the game with the ball, and this is something where they want to slow down a bit the tempo of Frankfurt, the speed as well, because Frankfurt is very, very dangerous in terms of threatening in behind with their speed, especially with Ansgar Knauf, with Mario Götze in behind, who can play these cutting passes and final passes as well, and this is something Dortmund has to be aware of, especially by having the ball. The opponent can't score a goal. That's probably a bit of the match plan when you see them playing here. Very controlled, a lot of passes, and waiting for the last pass to come when they probably organize in the offensive box.
And it's a test for Frankfurt as well, Julia, isn't it? Considering the ridiculous amount of goals, let's put it, you know, right. The goals that they've been conceding this season. So the more and more that Dortmund have the ball, concentration levels have to be absolutely at their max. Something that has kind of let them down at times this season. Definitely,
too many times from their perspective, and there are moments, just moments, and Dino Topmuller always gets asked if it's too naive in times, is it the young guns who probably a bit too wild, and this is just something they need tonight as well, the concentration until the end.
Don't you get possession and challenges won, Borussia Dortmund, but the main thing is that they are a goal down so far here in Frankfurt. Did beat Dortmund here in their last meeting, a home game in the Bundesliga back in January by a couple of goals to nil. It's from Ekitike and Højlund in that game, both missing for different reasons tonight. Højlund injured, and Ekitike is a Liverpool player these days. There is Koch. The head of Ketzer. Sabitzer. For Brand. And for Bayer. The shot was firmly closed on him. Julian Brandt again. Sabitzer. Knauf under the Kosh. First touch to come off Julian Reservation. It was a sweet moment to score against your former club, Julia.
I was wondering if he's celebrating. I think he's celebrated a bit, and yeah, definitely. It's been a while now since he's a Frankfurt player. I think he's really feeling the club in his heart as well. But yeah, still he won the cup. He had some successful years in Dortmund as well. But I think in these moments, and especially in these games, it doesn't really matter. But who you score against, you just wanna win this game. And I think it's a nice moment of good feeling for Ansgar Knauf scoring the goal.
Hugo Larsson. Tonight kicking off 8 games of the DFB-Pokal, another 8 tomorrow. Some cracking ties to be played, but it's a cup competition where you simply you have no idea what's going to happen. It's the beauty of it. We've seen some proper David Goliath stories over the last few years. 2 great giants of the game coming head to head here in Frankfurt tonight. Adiemi for Bayer, not working out for him. Burkhardt then turning into Bellingham, who was caught. Zalmino. Bayer was the target. Valdemar Anton, second season after his move from Stuttgart. He was quite open that he said that he didn't see the move coming. Has grown in his role with Borussia Dortmund. Marcel Sabitzer to try and provide quality, and in the end Litz Doan has to put it out of play.
But you see, like, how well Frankfurt is defending here with a kind of a low block. They give the ball to Dortmund and they not finding these little holes, these little pockets in between. They make it very compact in between the lines, and Dortmund can just really get some crosses in, but no really big chances where they can just turn up with a free foot in front of Michael Zetterer's goal.
A clean sheet against St. Pauli the weekend was the first since the first round of the cup. It's Burkhardt's header. He's got a fair bit of purchase on that as well. Sent back in again. Robin Koch was there this time. And Burkhardt on the chase this time here. The speedster that is Adiemi beaten. Here's Knauf. And that'll be a free kick given away by Goetze.
But again, another good challenge by Anselmino. He's just there when he needs to be there, very clean again, puts his body in between the opponent and the ball. Good timing of the tackle in a very dangerous zone.
Yeah, he's got minutes against Union this season in the Bundesliga and against FC Copenhagen in the Champions League. It's tough for a new player to come in and then you hit with an injury straight away. Another raking one, finding Adiemi. Tejan strong in the challenge, he's going to come back and raise on again. Still managed to dig out a cross. Touchdown by Brandt, but there is nobody there, and Burkhardt can test the pace. Valdemar Anton. Zalmino. Knauf is up for it, but he's at the end given the free kick away. Dino Topmuller described with the German press has been like a volcano on the sidelines. Not just in the dressing room, but on the touchline as well, in particular against Pauli at the weekend. Don't really see Niko Kovac exploding too much on the sidelines.
I think Niko Kovac turned down a little bit in terms of his energy in a good way. He's very relaxed when you see him in the interviews. He's so calm. He's just in control of the situation, really. That's something he probably learned over the years as well, and he's taken it a lot more calm, and I like that new side of him. But also seeing Dino Topmöller, he's probably more the calm one naturally, but now getting more energy, and he's saying there's something the team needs from outside, so he tries to be that volcano on the sideline as well, to put the energy on his players.
Regards to Niko Kovac, twice a winner as a coach, once as a player. They would lose a cup final with Eintracht Frankfurt before winning it the following year. They lost against Dortmund, then winning against Bayern. Daniel Brown just being told where to take this throw-in from. Burkhardt. Here is Brown. Lidstone, summer arrival from Freiburg. What a piece of business it was to bring him in.
Probably a bit underrated as well.
Absolutely. It's cleverly done. Now Chaibi urged to have a go, and he does. It's not troubling Kobel. He's asking for a corner. I think he's got one.
And here you can see in a very nice way the rotations Frankfurt is doing. Nene Brown in a central midfielder pocket, and also involved in creating chances here because he's such a good player. And Chaibi, he's in an extraordinary good form at the moment, just taking that shot and getting also a corner from it.
So it'll be Lidstone to take this corner for Eintracht Frankfurt. 10 to play. The first 45 minutes. Brown just wouldn't settle for him. Svensson playing it against him.
Just said how good of a footballer he is, and that touch was a little bit too heavy probably to get the shot on goal.
Well, Ansgar Knauf is the man of the moment so far. Not from his only attempt. They really have looked to thread getting him going down this left side in this first half, Eintracht Frankfurt. Svensson. It's Nico Schlotterbeck. And the flag is up here on Julian Brand. That's a real soft one. He can't be offside there, Julia, can he?
No, he shouldn't. But still, was it probably a little test for the linesman if he's still online. But now it's a little thing like this, obviously a bit annoying for the Dortmund side if you get whistled off that action. Yeah, you can see the reaction of Waldemar Antony. Didn't like that action of Julian Brandt.
Julian Brandt, he's spoken about the last 12-18 months as being one of the toughest of his career. When things haven't gone right for Borussia Dortmund, he's certainly been one of those names in the firing line. A terrific player though, on his day. Here's Götze. Julian Brandt again. Turned it over here, Eintracht Frankfurt. Götze, Litzdoan, and Doan having a go.
And I think you can see in these actions as well, in these situations, that Frankfurt is just very awake. As soon as Dortmund is making a little mistake, they're there, they taking their chances, they not waiting too long to get shots on goal and take little options as well, because as a coach said once to me, if you don't shoot, you don't score. So that's probably something Frankfurt is taking on very well this season.
Litzdoan, he announced himself with a couple of goals in round 1 on his debut. He's got a couple of goals in the Bundesliga as well. Early on this season, as good as it's got for him on match day 2 against Hoffenheim. Christensen stayed in play. Just talk about fine margins. Brown thought he was called back and the referee obliges. Committed to the cause, Nathaniel Brown. He was had one of the best tackle success rates last season for Eintracht Frankfurt.
And when you see him, he's not the most physical one. He's very thin, very agile though, and just have a great timing in terms of when to take the tackle, and always gets a foot in a situation where no one really thinks he can still get it. He somehow managed to get on the ball.
Burkhardt winning the free kick. Here is Koch. Litzdoan. On he goes again. Bellingham in his way. Teat. He's going to try one, Teat. It's a palm stinger for Gregor Kobel. Another example there of, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win a raffle. Burkhardt onto it quickly here. Can Eintracht Frankfurt end the first half the way that they started it with a goal? Oh, not so sure. Not so sure about that one.
Probably not the right decision of the referee, but also touched it maybe a little bit with his socks.
But that's
still
a faint one, that one.
Yeah, but still not a great advantage having a throw in there, because you can press that one very well, as they do.
Götze. He's a two-time Bundesliga winner with Dortmund and Jürgen Klopp. Dino Topmuller saying that he's getting nearer to top form, playing in that more deeper role rather than playing in a 10 role. Oh, Bellingham's touch gets away from him. Shaibi. Gets her again. Shaibi. Oh, kept hold of it well, Eintracht Frankfurt. That will be the clearest yellow card you will see in this competition this season.
They are not very clever in this moment. Speaking about his good timing in tackles before, that wasn't a good timing, but
He's gone right downhill since you mentioned that, Julia.
Yeah, he just didn't accept that tackle to lose.
A yellow card for Zamino. He was saying to Brown, you shall not go any further. Oh. Ooh. Now then. This is a big call from the referee. This is a big one. I think it will just be yellow, but Zamino here, talk about taking a risk, having just received a yellow card.
Yeah, and I think in this moment everyone knew what this could be, but the referee, I think, was thinking as well, not another yellow card, definitely not, but he has to be very aware now of his individual situation on this pitch, and I think Niko Kovac already thinking how he could probably replace him towards the second half.
Do you think that one is worthy of a second yellow card?
I would say no, just because it happened in a matter of a minute of time, and this is probably the feeling we always speak and want to have from the referee, and I think it wasn't clearly on the foot, it wasn't a dangerous foul, it was just Hardy was too late. Yes, it's a free kick, and I think that's exactly the right decision from the referee.
And from Shaibi, but too close to Gregor Kobel. Bellingham. His brother was a cup winner with Dortmund. Adiemi. Can't get anywhere beyond Christensen. Burkhardt. Now Goetze.
You feel like towards the end of the first half, Eintracht Frankfurt is completely in control of the game. When you felt like in the middle, Dortmund took the advantage more on their side, but Frankfurt now is having a lot of ball time. They are creating a lot of chances. They having a lot of passes as well, successful passes. Something you can see. They're very much in control. They're very aware. They're very concentrated as well and disciplined, especially in the work against the ball.
Yeah, that's not often been seen this season.
Yeah, that's true. At least not over 90 minutes of the game.
Yes. 3 additional minutes. Just to remind you that we might need more than 90 minutes tonight. All going right for Eintracht Frankfurt. 6th meeting in the DFB-Pokal with Schwarzgelben, but there's 2 in 1969 and 1979, but hasn't quite gone to plan since then. Losing the rest. Club who did finish above Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga last season. Svensson. Planned for Adiemi, not quite on the same wavelength.
But you see how concentrated, how aware Doan on the one side, Knauf on the other side, they constantly in their own box defending situation after situation, always willing to just help securing their own goal and just helping to protect and to have the clean sheet, really.
Yeah, struggling to break through against a team who've conceded 18 goals in the Bundesliga this season. The Augsburg have conceded more. Larsson. And now Artur Teat. Behind Knauf. Brown doesn't want to be silly giving anything away here.
great counter-pressing. Again, not a great advantage having a throw-in in your last third. It's again another good pressing ball, but small details like this action from Nene Brown is just a little glimpse of the work rate both teams put in, and Frankfurt is definitely ahead of Dortmund in the first 45 minutes.
It's Brown again. Burkhardt couldn't quite bring it down. Tom Muller was saying that he knew what was coming their way tonight. Two Champions League participants head to head. So far, so good. And an applause from Tom Muller on the sidelines as Niko Kovac has plenty to think about. After Ansgar Knauf opened the scoring on 7 minutes, Frankfurt have been steely at the back as Borussia Dortmund have not been able to come up with the right answers to break down this stubborn defence. At half-time, Frankfurt leading Dortmund by 1-0. And so, Julia, pretty strong Frankfurt when they have been without the ball, but when they have been with the ball, they've looked a threat.
Yeah, and they do exactly what they need to do. They take their shots, they take their opportunities, every time they win the ball, they're quick in transitioning as well, and they have that speed, they have the quality up front, and I think what they also show is the balance between having the ball but also leaving them to the opponent and working hard against the ball.
Deutsche Bahn Park looking resplendent this Tuesday evening. And Eintracht Frankfurt are halfway to making the third round in the DFB-Pokal. Niko Kovac back to Frankfurt, to a club where he was a cup winner. But this time with Borussia Dortmund, and his team didn't get off to the best of starts at all. The combo, ex-Dortmund combo of Götze to Knauf, 1-0 on 7 minutes. They weren't wasting much time here. Eintracht Frankfurt, a super pass, perfect weight, and the finish to match. Knauf. Not much in the way of a celebration against his former club, but an important stepping stone for Eintracht Frankfurt, who are looking to make home turf count here tonight in this one. Not much, it has to be said, created by Borussia Dortmund at the other end. So what is to come in the second half? Plenty of questions to be answered, I'm sure, by Niko Kovac in the dressing room at half-time. His side are behind. Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Borussia Dortmund 0 at the break.
Only the best write history.
Haaland! Lewandowski!
These are the moments.
And now the dream becomes reality.
When strikers fire themselves into the hearts of fans forever. In the DFB-Pokal, players become legends. Let's meet some iconic forwards and the stories that made them unforgettable. When you talk about legends, one name is unavoidable. Unconventional, unmistakable, unstoppable. Gerd Müller shattered every record in German football. But not everyone thought he'd make it when he joined Bayern as a kid back in 1964.
Der Trainer für richtig hält, dass sie Verteidiger spielen, das Spiel auch verteidigen.
Fortunately, no coach wanted him to, and his goal-scoring instincts set records for eternity. He lifted the trophy 4 times and scored 78 goals in the DFB-Pokal. Many of them were crucial, like his brace in the 1969 final. Bayern beat Schalke to secure their first ever double. Gerd Müller will always be the bomber. From one Müller to the next.
Cool, calm, clinical.
Thomas Müller is a German football institution. A likeable lad, approachable, the fans love. One of us, with his passion for horses and out pitch. A leader, a winner, a goal scorer. Thomas Müller won the DFB-Pokal 6 times with Bayern. His goals are etched in the collective soul of Bayern fans, and one stands out in particular.
And Müller somehow stayed on his feet and slots home Bayern's second goal.
A mazy run for the ages. His winning mentality is stronger than any crown. 15 years in the DFB-Pokal.
It's Thomas Müller's goal.
36 goals. Thomas Müller, forever unforgettable. And to round it off, Müller Part 3. He came to Köln at the age of 19.
Ja, is jong, talentiert.
He was no giant, but still great in the air.
Ich bin 1,82.
Müller scored 231 goals for Köln. He managed 6 in a Bundesliga game, a record that still stands to this day. And he was particularly fond of the DFB-Pokal. In the 1976-77 campaign, he netted 14 times for Köln, another enduring record. And it included the winner in the final against Hertha. A year later, he helped secure the greatest triumph in Köln club history, the League and Cup double. Dieter Müller, a Köln and DFB-Pokal hero. Erling the Great. In the 2021 DFB-Pokal final, he was unstoppable.
A world-class goal from a young man who is already one of the planet's best strikers.
In Dortmund's 4-1 win over Leipzig, the striking sensation scored 2 sensational goals.
A brace for Haaland, and surely now he is a cup winner.
And carved his name into Borussia folklore. His goal record is out of this world. The Norwegian played in just 3 DFB-Pokal campaigns, but scored 8 times.
Erling Haaland! He's simply a goal machine!
His exploits in the 2021 final will never be forgotten. Even at 20, he was busy signing autographs. Claudio Pizarro, fresh from scoring his first 2 DFB-Pokal goals. That was back in 1999. Let's take a leap forwards to 2019, and Pizarro was still at it.
And it's touched in by Claudio Pizarro, who becomes the second oldest goal scorer in DFB Cup history.
At the grand age of 40 years and 311 days, the Peruvian was still finding the net in some style.
It's a stunning goal!
And Pizarro memorabilia was just as sought after 20 years on.
Pizarro shirts, a popular prize.
In the between time, he'd scored 34 cup goals and won the competition 6 times. His name should have a preservation order. Claudio Pizarro. This is what a winner looks like. He celebrated in yellow.
Lewandowski!
He celebrated in red.
A world-class finish.
Robert Lewandowski dominated the DFB-Pokal, lifting the trophy 4 times. In 2012 with Dortmund, when he scored a hat-trick in the final against Bayern.
5-2, the Lewandowski hat-trick.
Then came 3 more trophies with Bayern. Between 2017 and 2020, he was top scorer 4 years in a row and still holds the record for most goals in finals. Robert Lewandowski, simply a winner. He was one of the most popular German footballers ever, an idol. But Uwe Seeler was much more than just a goal-getter.
Der Uwe hat also da seinen Sport und den Fußball besonders repräsentiert.
Ham tender and remained loyal to the club his entire career, in which he notched up 496 goals for the Northern German Giants. His perhaps most important strikes came in the DFB-Pokal. Seeler scored a hat-trick in the 1963 final against Dortmund as Hamburg won the cup.
Das Spiel ist entschieden, meine Damen und Herren. Der Hattrick ist Uwe Seeler gelungen.
The following year, he became the first ever Bundesliga top scorer. He was World Cup runner-up in 1966, but always remained down to earth. One of us. Uns Uwe, our Uwe. A man with a mission.
Harry Kane with a big game moment.
A match-winning performance in the first round. Harry Kane wants to win this trophy. He's without doubt a world-class striker. He scored on his DFB-Pokal debut.
But now he has made his mark in this grand old tournament.
And after becoming German champion with Bayern, he's now dreaming of the DFB-Pokal. King Kane in the cup, to be continued.
Welcome back, everybody, to Deutsche Bank Park, where changes are imminent for Borussia Dortmund. Niklas Süle is set to come on here as Borussia Dortmund make their way out. A goal down at half-time. A goal courtesy of a former Borussia Dortmund player in Ansgar Knauf on minutes. Niko Kovac needing to make a change at the break. With Aaron Anselmino, he is the player that has made way due to the fact that he was on a yellow card. He may be getting strapped up here, Julia Zemic, but you called it. Niklas Süle, the player to come on as his replacement.
I think it was a bit necessary in terms of protecting Anselmino, but also finishing the game with the full squad and not going one man down, because he was just a bit unclever in two situations straight in behind before the second half or before half-time, and this is probably the necessary change he needed to make.
Yeah, he picks up a yellow card and then straight away ran straight through the back of Nathaniel Brown, and it could easily have been another one, but wasn't. So Niko Kovac, discussion with his subs as well. They've created very little in that first half. Remains to be seen just when we may see Siri Girassi in the second half. So Borussia Dortmund get us underway. A goal down, as they were in Der Klassiker recently. Bayern, the only teams who have beaten them this season in all competitions. What of this second half, as we just see the confirmation of that change being made, and Zomino going off on a very shaky yellow card, and Niklas Süle, the experience of Niklas Süle coming on as his replacement.
Maybe a bit surprising as well for some people that Niklas Süle didn't start from the beginning and just be subbed in now after Benzbaini not being able to play with back injury, but it's just a bit the form at the moment from Niklas Süle, who finished last season very well, but at the moment didn't play so well, so he found himself a lot of times on the bench. But now another option, an opportunity for him to prove the coach wrong and give some arguments on the pitch to get more playing time.
Yeah, that's what you can do. And, prove a point here at his hometown of Frankfurt. And Niklas Süle, two-time cup winner in his days with Bayern, as Knauf gives away the free kick. Eintracht Frankfurt beaten by Liverpool in the Champions League here last week. Goal up in that one before 5 goals were conceded. Dino Topmüller talking about a tough few weeks for his team. Said after the weekend against St. Pauli, it's been mentally bruising for them to have shown a different face against St. Pauli. Certainly after what happened in the second half here against Liverpool. Flag staying down against Bayer. Julian Brandt has it now back for Bayer, and Bellingham. Rails on, keeps that low, and there is the leveller. Courtesy of Julian Brandt. Could not miss. And that is what you call a start to a second half. It is a dream of a cross, and put in by Julian Brandt, and we're all square in Frankfurt.
And I think dream of a pass is just describing it perfectly, and here you can see the left foot is offside, and we probably won't take the goal back as we don't have the VAR here, the video assistant. But still the passes, the cleverness, that's a good pass as well from Bellingham, and this is a perfect pass. You can't play an early cross, a banana pass, how we call it sometimes here. You can't place that better, and then it wasn't too hard for Julian Brandt to put it in the back of the net. But I think a lot of credits for this goal to Julian Ryerson for that brilliant pass into the middle.
Absolutely magnificent pass. And what a time to score right at the start of the second half. Julian Brandt, who came off the bench late in their previous cup success in Berlin. Now we've got a cup tie on our hands. So that's Bellingham's header away. Brown sends it back in, but only as far as Gregor Kobel. And what a pass that is to find Bayer. Adeyemi joining in, but Bayer might do it himself. Important block, Svensson, and for Bayer. Zabitzer. And it breaks down for Dortmund, but the original pass from one end to the other, my goodness.
And all of a sudden a lot of space for Dortmund, which they could find in the first half. A couple of spaces wide open, probably something Dino Topmöller does like, the way his team starts into the second half.
So Dortmund clocking 500 goals in the cup then. 300th in away cup games. A team who created next to nothing in the first half. And they continue their record of scoring in every game that they've played in this season. Robin Koch for Rasmus Christensen, who's been a cup winner in his time in Austria and in the Netherlands in his career. Now scoring with their first shot on target in the game, just as Eintracht Frankfurt did in the first half. Here's Otto Teat. Press is high from Dortmund here. Although shove in the back from Valdemar Anton. Burkhardt, he seems okay after he was sat on the deck, wasn't he, in the first half, and everybody kind of feared the worst. Schlotterbeck striking Shaibi. I don't think you need too much about that. Anton Brandt on the turn. And that is the tackle and a half to win the ball back from Christensen, and now Burkhardt. He's all on his own at the minute. Schlotterbeck in his back. Larsson gets it for Brown. That was Zula in the way, and his 100th competitive appearance for Borussia Dortmund tonight. Christensen, and for Hugo Larsson. Actually, the free kick does go. Shaibi and Eintracht Frankfurt away. So what can they produce here? Eintracht Frankfurt made the round at 16 last season, actually losing to Leipzig. Doan, the left foot. Be Shaibi instead to go around the wall. That's just one of those crosses that you just simply cannot defend, Julian.
Oh, you can't defend. You see Thackeray trying to get on the ball. He's seeing it coming, but it's just too perfect. He can't reach the ball, and then you have that wave of a yellow wall in front of you. The three players facing the ball, facing the goal, and it's so much easier to bring that ball towards the goal than to defend it away from the goal, just in terms of your body position. So great play, probably a demo pass in terms of how to produce the perfect pass, the perfect cross.
Reservation in the mood for another assist. Brandt with his 4th goal in all competitions this season. Reservation's got 3 Bundesliga assists so far to his name. There's Brandt again and played back off him. He's scored in all competitions now. The Champions League, in the DFB-Pokal, and in the Bundesliga. And Schlotterbeck. Still a lot of conversations around the future of Nico Schlotterbeck, and his future does lie. 1 more year left on his contract. The name of FC Bayern München won't go away in the German press. His uncle Niels played in a DFB-Pokal final with Stuttgarter Kickers. Scored an own goal, in fact, in the 1980s. Bellingham. And Job is on the march. A lot of space in front of him. The referee's going to bring it back for a free kick to Eintracht Frankfurt. As Teyad was taken out.
Here you see at least a little glimpse at the quality of not just Jude but also Job has, and they move so similar, these two brothers, and you sometimes feel like Jude Bellingham is still there in Dortmund, but he isn't. But it's probably still a matter of time. He needs time as well to adapt to a new culture, to a new level of football as well. Coming from England, coming to another league is something with high expectations, obviously, around his person. But I think it's a young guy that just needs a bit of adaptation time, I would call it, that we should all give him, and probably he's having these outstanding qualities in him as well.
Stimmer on the charge again here. Adeyemi. So look to turn this cup tie on its head here, Dortmund. Suddenly a bit more about them, isn't there, in the second half? That goal has done them a world of good. Settle for another throw here.
Yeah, they develop some power now, some energy towards the goal as well. They play more constructive and productive than they did in the first half, where they just pass the balls without any pressure in behind, without any messages in behind. Now they just trying to create chances and be definitely more dangerous than they were in the first 45 minutes.
The contrast to how he was at the weekend as well against Köln. 30 attempts at goal. They finally were able to break the door down in the 90th minute, courtesy of Maxi Bayer. Zula. Bayer is on the march here, but he's offside. Trying his very best to time the run, wasn't he?
But he forgot his shoulder. Also not that easy for the referees as well, in terms of they're so used to work with the video assistant as well, and now they don't have them in the first 2 rounds of the cup. It's probably very challenging for them as well.
Old school.
Old school,
Back
yes.
to old school. There'll be quite a few people inside the stadium and watching on who are probably pretty happy that technology is not being used.
especially the traditional fans.
Oh yeah. So there is much in that. Knauf, here is Svensson. Space here now for Adeyemi. Captain play. Knauf, off he goes. Can he stay on his feet? No, he can't. That will be brought back. Surely a yellow card, and is. Referee Jablonski to Karim Adeyemi.
Probably should have let the ball goes out when you see the consequences.
It was Niklas Süle, in fact, wasn't it? It's milestone day. Yellow card to his name for Niklas Süle. Started Der Klassiker and off at half-time against his former club. Burkhardt, he's found a pass. They found Mario Götze. A corner here to Eintracht Frankfurt. Burkhardt making something out of absolutely nothing.
Exactly, and when you see his heat map, he's always reaching out for these balls, and he's just so, let's say, online and so active for these balls, and it's just a little thing of timing, of waiting for the ball, and the matter of work rate he puts in is absolutely extraordinary.
Noise levels up again here. It's Bellingham's header away. Larsson back for Michael Zetterer, apart from picking the ball up out of the back of his own net. Very little to do in this game. Bellingham. Here is Brandt. Maxi Bayer. Zabitzer. A fell one there, tip from Shaibi. Brandt to send this one in, but too close to Zetterer, as Zabitzer is still down, and the referee has stopped the play.
Painful, definitely. Probably not intentional, but had the hand of Shaibi in his face, which is probably for his nose very painful.
It's a pretty firm talking to there, wasn't it, from Niko Kovac?
I think he wants to see more runs in behind from Karim Adeyemi. But he threw away his bottle very gentle. At least for now.
Hey, those poor water bottles, they get a pretty rough time of it, don't they? Here's Doan. Lost one back for Christensen. Brown. Eintracht Frankfurt pegged back at home. A win against St. Pauli, stopping a run of 3 straight home defeats. Conceding 3 goals as well, or more. Against Union Berlin, against Bayern, and more recently Liverpool in the Champions League. Great turn from Dahn. Escaped Schlotterbeck. Brown. On he goes, Brown! It's more like it from Eintracht Frankfurt.
That's great control of the ball, of his body as well. Here he could easily fall after in the situation after, but somehow managed to kept on his feet. Very, very good player. So worth to watch.
Former semi-finalist in this competition with Freiburg, Litz Doan. Hopefully the restart, and the couple then does eventually clear it away. Through for Bayer. There's a man on point, hitting the bullseye against Khan of the weekend. If you saw his goal and his goal celebration. Dortmund the venue for the European Dart Championships this week, which he did attend the final. He did say it'd be a bit of a quiet one due to preparations for this one. It's never quiet at the darts. Teat. Getzer shields it so well. Robin Koch now. Christensen wanted the return. This is Zabitzer for Borussia Dortmund. Just needed the one goal in round one to beat Rot-Weiss Essen. Gerassi's goal on 79 minutes being the difference to get them through. They are determined not to fall at this second hurdle as they did this time last year.
Having the time a little bit on the radar, you can also have a little view on the bench, and there's definitely some power, some energy, some quality sitting and waiting for their move to come in. When you see Felix Metscher coming to the game, probably Serhou Guirassy, obviously some players that can change a game, decide the game, and take the game on their side.
Anton to try and keep this alive here. It's pretty tight to that sideline, and in the end, that could have gone either way. Are you sure? That's what he's asking.
And something like, Mamma Mia. He's not happy lately with some of the referee decisions. He keeps saying that, mentioning it in a very fair way, to be honest. He's very transparent. He's always looking for the conversation as well. So, good sportsman, Niko Kovac.
There's determination here as Adeyemi's offside. Determination from Kovac. You saw it in his press conference yesterday. Wanted to come here, as he said. He wants to win against his old love. It does seem to have stabilised the cause, and working team, Borussia Dortmund disciplined. Certainly some of the traits that Dino Topmother was pointing out in his presser yesterday when asked about his opponents. Adeyemi. Oh, Teat taking a risk. Well, that's a pretty firm wag of the finger from the referee. Doan. It's given away again though. This is Julian Brandt. Maxi Bayer. Is on, settles for a corner this time.
No, not enough. Probably, yes, there's a little push from behind, but Adeyemi takes it very easily. He could have easily stand on his feet, and I think right decision from the referee. When you see the way he's leading that game, he's not giving cheap free kicks for no team, so I think that's absolutely okay to keep playing here.
The most impacted set pieces this season, Dortmund. From Svensson and Christensen there first. Back to the Swede again. hanging one for Thackeray to come, and claims it, and not hanging around, straight away up to Ansgar Knauf, all on his own. It's Knauf! Smart save from Gregor Kobel.
And also smart decision from Ansgar Knauf, because he knew if he cuts into the middle, it's a 1 against 3, and he just kept it a 1 against 1 with Niklas Süle, and just one little cut to the right, and straight away the shot again, what we know, which is still Eintracht Frankfurt's way to go into the games, is shooting very quickly, and again another corner and another chance to create something.
Defense to attack. That's Koch! Well, he has scored a couple of goals this season in a pretty wild and wacky game against Borussia Mönchengladbach recently. Just a shove on the back of Valde Anton there. Dortmund have lost just one of 7 meetings against Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. Bellingham. Minutes to play. Dortmund well and truly coming into the game in this second half, winning their challenges as well, but more importantly, making moments in the game. It's just what they weren't doing in the first half. Attacking this was Bayer, and he's going to get a corner. I sense there's going to be many more twists and turns to come. Wow, good spot from the officials. Yep. Really good spot.
There was some hair from Robin Koch on the ball.
Reyes on. Mario Götze at the free kick here. It comes to a disappointing end, and so changes can be made here for Eintracht Frankfurt. So the young superstar, that is Chanuzun, for the final 20 minutes, maybe more. Mario Götze's evening has ended here. Had played his part in the opening goal. And Hugo Larsson is another player that has made way in Elis Skiri to take his place. Well, he's had his injuries this season, Skiri. But Chanuzun, Julia, is one of the most exciting players in the Bundesliga this season. A lot is being made of him. He might just be going through a bit of a barren spell goals-wise, but he is such an edge-of-your-seat kind of player.
Yeah, and probably one of the best just strikers in terms of the shooting quality he has. If he has a free foot on the ball and he sees the goal, he's just finding some space to put it into the net, and that's something so precise, so much power as well in his right foot. He's very good on the ball.
Here's Knauf. Chanuzun wants it, gets it now. And Anton read exactly what he was going to do in terms of that first touch. Reminder, it's win or bust tonight. Winners go through. And, will it be within regulation 90 minutes? Maybe more. Dino Topmuller was asked about penalties in his press conference. Let's just say they've not been practicing.
Yeah, fair point. He said you can't create that atmosphere. You can't create 60,000 fans around you and the atmosphere and the pressure as well. So scoring from 12 yards really is something each of these players can do it, but can they do it in this moment? That's always the question, and that's something Topmuller obviously says it's not needed to practice.
Doan trying to cut that out. In doing so, he's brought down Julian Brandt. It's on Svensson. Well, he's a little unfortunate, losing his balance at the same time. First of 4 away games for Borussia Dortmund. Augsburg and Hamburg in the Bundesliga to come. Trip to Manchester City to play in the Champions League a week tomorrow. Taking 4 points from 6 in the Champions League, first 2 games. Been a solid start. Juventus and Copenhagen. More of a mixed one for Eintracht Frankfurt. Seru Gerasi is imminent, by the way. Whether he can have the impact that Borussia Dortmund crave and desire. Zula. For Adeyemi. Turn and then the pass for Brandt, but nothing wrong with that, says the referee.
The shout out to Gerasi is probably a shout out that's very necessary soon, because you can see that Dortmund players they come into situations where a Gerasi with his qualities is very much needed in terms of just winning tackles, just getting crosses towards the goal, but also just being more stable than Max Bayer is, for example. Adeyemi is someone who can finish the options they create, and here he is.
And it is Karim Adeyemi to make way. Water bottles beware. After what happened against Köln, was furious of being brought off. And so took his vengeance out on those water bottles at Signal Iduna Park.
There's at least one in his hand already. Let's see how this ends. It doesn't seem to be too happy.
But then you never want to see a player being happy when being substituted.
I think Kovac's reaction also was very on point, on spot, as he says, look, this is just part of it, and it's more or less the offensive players that get subbed on a regular base, and it's him having 70 minutes again, his chance, and on every 3 days he can play football, and the minutes he gets, he should just need the best way, or use the best way possible.
Here's Doan. Gerasi on Jonathan Burkhardt, who we've spoken about a lot in this game, the build-up as well. Oh, he's barely had a sniff tonight. In fact, after 75 minutes, he's not even had a shot. But he only needs one chance. Brown towards Burkhardt. Canuzon. Taken away from him by Lidstone, they want the decision in Eintracht Frankfurt. As he says, you don't get a second chance in these kind of games. Speaking about how they are capable of rising up in such special moments. Bellingham. Now Shaibi for Diatla. Doan. Might open up for Doan! And he rattles the bar.
And these are just his moments when he's because he's just so quick on his feet, a little turn, and no one can really stop him. He's so quick, and I think Kobe couldn't have done anything against that shot.
Plus, this would really come to a goal since the goal of Borussia Dortmund at the start of the second half. This time these two met outside of a cup final was 2014. Borussia Dortmund winning with a late winner from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Thackeray clears away. Julian Brandt with his goal. He's been on the ball a lot. He's been good with his passes. 86% completed. But what can Eintracht Frankfurt produce with 10 to play at home? Will it be them who will prevail? Chanuzun opens up for the shots and Kobel parries it away. Really good spell this from the home side.
Now you feel Frankfurt's coming back into the game. A bit more active now. If he had it on his right foot, probably would have gotten even more dangerous, but still a good shot. Good signal as well towards the fans, and stadium is fully awake, fully behind their team, and another ball in Eintracht Frankfurt's hands.
So that might be a bit of a concern for Niko Kovac. There's two chances now from Eintracht Frankfurt coming inside, allowing shots to come in. It's from Doan and then from Chanuzun. It's not happening, is it? For Maxi Bailly. He said that in the heat of the celebrations. He got a few whacks on the head, didn't he? So he was well worth it after his goal against Köln.
Obviously very painful to score a late winner, Borussia Dortmund.
I bet it was worth the pain. in front of the wall as well, at Signal Iduna Park.
And you could see the celebration when the whole bench was jumping up. Everyone was. I was working that day, and it was just crazy to see also the belief, the energy that Niko Kovac mentioned it after the game as well. These little moments do so much for the team spirit and for the belief in big dreams and being more consistent and winning late as well, and having that belief towards the end of the game as well. You can still win it, and you do everything until the last minute of the game.
Well, they're finding a bit more space now. Chanuzun with the idea to go first time. He's got 5 without a goal, incidentally. As Chanuzun has scored in 6 straight games previous. He's a creator as well, he's everything. Just saw there's more changes imminently for Borussia Dortmund as Schlotterbeck felled that one. So Maximilian Bayer, 84 minutes in, replaced here. Fabio Silva from Wolves in England. Through the Porto ranks, back home in Portugal. Played 33 minutes in the Bundesliga this season.
But 33 very good minutes every time he came in. He's doing something to the game, and he's creating his couple of minutes he got already. He was straight away there, and someone who can probably help to accelerate the game and put it a bit towards Borussia Dortmund again.
Flag is up here. Well, we were talking off air, weren't we? We couldn't call this one as to which way he was going to go, and whether it would go beyond 90 minutes. It's looking that way at the minute. Kobel. 5 to play of the 90. Here is Niklas Zula. And for Girassi, one of his first touches of the football since he's come on. Schlotterbeck. Touch gets away from him and then seems to clatter into Lidstone. Not much sympathy from Nico Schlotterbeck, it has to be said afterwards. It is on a knife edge, this one. True DFB-Pokal style. Zabitzer, cleared away by Otto Teat. Knauf hands it right back to Zula. Brandt. Brown taking over.
Both teams, you feel like there's some tension in the air, like it can fall on both ends, on both sides. I think you both are very concentrated in terms of defending, but you see the legs are getting heavier now. It's more effort now to make these runs back, and especially counter-attacks. Transition from defense to offense is a crucial phase now for both teams.
Chaduzum. Vision. Find that's got Knauf. Zula breathing down his neck. Pushing to find Shaibi. There's not much going on in there. Burkhardt and Lidstone. Chaduzum. Clever. But look to take matters into his own hands and can't hit the target. Dino Topmuller is going to be making more changes. So it's the end of Ansgar Knauf, whose goal lit up this place on 7 minutes for Frankfurt's number 7 against his former employers. Put in a good shift here tonight. Jean-Matteo Boia looking to make a difference now in the final few moments, maybe even further.
Speed for speed, Boia very quick on his feet, and you see the game now is losing a bit of energy probably as the legs are getting a bit more tired. You could definitely need some fresh legs and especially speedy ones as well.
Boy, he's started against Liverpool. Was a scorer in the first round against Loli Engers by 5-0. They won that. Here's Bellingham for Dortmund. Sabitzer in for Girassi. Yeah, usually when he comes off the bench he scores. Still time yet for Girassi to have a say on this cup tie. Is it to be Dortmund going to extra time again as they did in the second round last season? But they were undone by Wolfsburg. Nuri Sahin didn't last much longer after that. To the start of the new year. Oh, Christensen. Chanusen. 4 more minutes to play. Into now and ever moments. It's a deep one for Shaibi around the back. And it already crossed the line. He wants a corner, determined to get the corner. He's not going to get it though.
Not clear from here. Probably was out already.
Fabio Silva. Oh, and very nearly getting the better of Cesaro. Shifted his body really well to get down and to deny Fabio Silva here.
And that's exactly his quality he brings to a game. When he comes in, he straight away works, he functions, he's taking these shots, he's having these actions and also finishing them.
He did score in the Champions League recently. Julian Brands for Girassi. Even a fresh Girassi isn't getting on the end of that.
But he liked that pass. These are the passes he needs. He needs crosses, he needs balls in behind, he needs also balls into his feet because he can create himself. He just needs to get on the ball to create some dangerous actions himself.
Well, met by Brown. And Brown has stolen it back again.
Very impressive performance, very impressive performance by Nene Brown from my perspective tonight. It's unbelievable how quick he adapted to that level, coming from Nuremberg 2 years ago and now starting 11 every game almost. He's just having great performance after performance.
Bellingham, we're getting to that desperation time now. Who goes and wins the cup tie? Fabio Silva can't find anybody. And here they come again, this time Diadla for Burkhardt. Fends off Anton, now Chanusen. Shaibi. Find the right pass, made the right decision at this time now. Christensen, oh my goodness, nobody there.
The idea from Christensen is great. It's just no one expected that pass to come in, and I think Johnny Burkhardt straight away thought should have been there and should have expected probably that little flick from Christensen.
That may have been the cup tie. Doan. Well, that's a fabulous pass to find Chanusen. But the layoff back to him again. Schlotterbeck right there where Dortmund needed him. The last play perhaps. Chanusen again. Everybody getting ready for more. So we will go on. Eintracht Frankfurt and Borussia Dortmund unable to be separated at the end of 90 minutes. And so more to come here from Frankfurt. Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Borussia Dortmund 1. Julia, what do you make of that 90 minutes that we've just seen?
Intense game. I think you can feel now how exhausting the game was in the last 5-7 minutes when no one really could create something useful and finish these good chances and opportunities they had. I think it's going to be very interesting, the game management now from the coaches, how they sub in what you can still bring from the bench, but also how long the power in the legs will be there from both teams. Borussia Dortmund with many away games in this month as well. You can see like playing every 3 days is very exhausting for both teams actually. So it's going to be who's more fresh mentally but also physically.
And as a player, how do you manage that in terms of, you're going to be feeling it out there as a player now. You know, you'll have been in situations where you're playing beyond 90 minutes. In terms of managing that and trying to find more energy to go in extra time, where does that come from?
Basically from your head a lot, not thinking you're tired and then starting to believe there's still energy, there's still some reserves left and capacities in your legs. This is something you have to get over the point all the time, always trying to get over it, and then also having that energy from outside, from a mental leader like Nico Schlotterbeck on the one side, from Christensen probably on the other side. You need these players now managing the team as well in little moments where you think you can't do that last step. You have to get over that point, and then obviously the being clinical, being clear in your head as well, not getting too exhausted mentally as well, having clear, good decisions. And this is something that's quality as well, and you can see now who has more quality in the next couple of minutes.
Well, there was always going to be a close one, this one. They're not far off each other in the Bundesliga standings, these two. Eintracht Frankfurt in 6th and Borussia Dortmund in 4th. And even more freshness from the bench here for Dortmund in Conny Chukwuemeka. He's going to be coming on for Julian Brandt, we're being told. There is Brandt just settling in for extra time on the bench now. It's his goal that levelled it, wasn't it? And so Felix Metscher also being introduced. That solidity he brings in the middle of the park. Well, one big push. Well, they're going to need every bit of support. Both sets of players from their respective and adoring fans. 6,000 that have made the move down from Dortmund here to Frankfurt today. The amount of football that these two teams have played, they probably could have done without an extra half an hour of action. Conny Chukwuemeka getting his deal made permanent from Chelsea. Started against Köln at the weekend. So all about difference makers now, on both sides. The Burkhardt rally. We go again in Frankfurt. Extra time in this second round tie in the DFB-Pokal between two great traditional names who cannot be separated after 90 minutes. Ansgar Knaufer given Eintracht Frankfurt the lead on 7 minutes before a wonderful start to the second half, and Julian Brandt equalising. We go again, Julia's image. It should be a fascinating half an hour.
Fascinating half an hour, and also tactically probably very interesting to see how the teams manage it now. Do they go fully in from minute one, or do they play a bit more with patience? How fresh are the legs? What kind of an impact the subs can make? And also the factor fans as well, being on home ground or having only 6,000 or 7,000 fans being with you, but still good fans, as you can hear the Dortmund fans as well.
Browns crosses deep, Litz-Doan taking it down effortlessly. Digs out across here, Rezon's header. Speed of Boye getting there ahead of Fabio Silva. Oh, it's one that is teased for Litz-Doan to attack. Coming right over the head of Svensson, I think it is.
That's pure will from Litz-Doan, how he flies in and just have the better momentum on his side, being earlier in the air, and then obviously a bit of a tackle as well there. Painful for Svensson, but good timing from the flying Doan.
Frankfurt have got an away day at Heidenheim to come, the Bundesliga. And Mainz on the horizon as well. A derby feel here ahead of the next and final international break of 2025. And Shaibi for Doan. Faris Shaibi again, Algerian international. Doan. And cleared by Svensson. Fabio Silva, it's Teat. Bellingham. It's put the Jude at a scoring weekend in a pretty high-profile game in Spain. Matchup for Girassi. Chukwuemeka's touch heavy. Schlosserbeck for Svensson. Oh, that's a stray one. And then so is that behind Burkhardt. may seem a daft one, Julia, but messages that the coaches give to the players during that break after full time going into extra time, is it a case of let's win this game now, not by the lottery of penalties?
I do think so. That as a coach, you rather have it in the extra time or additional time played than having a lottery like a penalty. Shootout always gets on the nerves and is always a bit more tricky to manage, and 50-50 as well. So here you have it under control. Here you have a game management. Here you can decide it with like clever decisions. It's not just one shot, do or die. Is many actions that can lead to a successful result, but at the end you just want to win it, whether it's penalties, whether that's extra time.
Sure.
That's just for us fans, for spectators, is always. I for example love to see penalty shootouts, because it's just doing something with every player. You can see how hard it is to make these steps, going to the point and place that ball into the net, where it's so hard because the goal is so small when you stand there and you have that adrenaline in your blood.
Chukwuemeka for Girassi. It's a good advantage being played here. Ooh, has that been kept in? Yes, it has. Chukwuemeka ahead. That's where he was heading to.
Like if you watch the game, and the way they manage the game is very similar from both teams. It's like trying to get some passes, trying to get in your position with sometimes not just kicking it long. You want to control it, you want to dominate it with passes to then break through in a moment, like for example this one.
There's Jean-Matteo Boya. Sticking to him well was Reyes on there. But now Brown. Towards Burkhardt, the only real target in there.
Yeah, you feel like Johnny Burkhardt is very much alone in the opponent's box and trying to make his way through against more or less 2 or 3 opponents every single time.
Has been making some club history. Burkhardt, record of 6 goals in 7 Bundesliga games. It's very rarely achieved by an Eintracht Frankfurt player. The start of their career. And a yellow card for Faraz Shaibi. He's leaving one on Felix Medja. Welcome to the game. Saw one. And again, it's one of those, isn't it? Arguments say, where's he supposed to put his foot, land his foot? Just unfortunate that Metches was there.
Very unfortunate. But still very painful.
Absolutely. So a yellow card for Faraz Shaibi, who in his Toulouse days in Ligue 1 was a cup winner. Pretty emphatic cup success against Nantes. Well, they won by 5 goals to 1 on that occasion some years ago now. Svensson for Girassi. Bellingham. Metcha. Svensson blocked by Lidstoan. Niklas Zule came on at half-time for Aaron Anselmino, who picked up a yellow card and was running a huge risk of picking up another one. Die Adler pushing Dortmund all the way back here to Gregor Kobel. That was Robin Koch. Not really been able to get Guirassy involved since he's come on.
Yeah, to be honest, none of the players made a huge impact to the game yet. Still plenty of time to prove it, that they can decide the game, but so far Can Uzun not in the best position yet, tried a couple of times to shoot. Guirassy didn't get the right ball yet, and you feel like it's a lot about putting the game on your side, being not too sloppy with the pass, don't give the ball away too cheaply, because it's a lot of effort working against the ball now. And I think the view from Dino Topmöller towards the clock is also speaking for itself, because every minute now getting more or harder and harder with the clock running down.
They played a lot of football, these two clubs. As you say, you think of the travelling as well that these two teams are having to put in terms of European competition. Teat just slowing it down. From Michael Zetterer. So when he arrived, he was only coming here to play. He had no intention of signing, and then sitting on a bench. I think it came as a bit of a surprise to him when Carlos Santos was getting the game time that he was getting. Can Uzun, nicely done for Faris Shaibi. Urged to have a go, he does! Kobel repelling it away. That's a risky one from Bellingham. Straight back to Brown. Can create the momentum. May just lead to a decisive goal in this cup tie. Doan, right to one challenge. For Doan again, take it away from him. Steady play from Fabio Silva, he has. And now Mecha. Guirassy, Chukwuemeka. Ahead, here he goes, Chukwuemeka. Guirassy in the centre wanting it, Chukwuemeka still goes on, oh, it's come loose. And Fabio Silva here still has it, hangs it up for Guirassy. What on earth was going on there?
Wild scenes. You know, Topmöller mentioned it before the game. From his perspective, can be a wild game, as long as they win it at the end. But that's a good decision from Zetterer, not going fully in. Otherwise, Silva was waiting for that contact to make, and then Guirassy with the bicycle kick before, just minutes before that. Good save from Kobel, but also good signal from Shaibi. Has a good position to shoot and took it, and was not too precise probably to fall back into the net, but still a little signal from both teams, still very open. Both teams trying to create chances for themselves. It's just not the lucky punch there yet.
Can Uzun around the corner for Doan. Can Uzun again. Burkhardt couldn't just quite take it in his stride. Shkiri just goes about his business. And he's Shkiri, the former Köln player. Doan, Christensen, Doan. Approaching the end of the first period of extra time. Shaibi. And away by Anton. Chukwuemeka with that fresh energy. And he's done well as he blocked off illegally, not according to the referees. When Jablonski says up you get.
Yeah, well done. I like the referee's line here, the way he lets situation just run and keeps the game some dynamic with his decisions. Good decision from the referee.
So that's the first period of extra time done. And another step closer to a shootout being needed to determine this cup tie. 15 more minutes to play. If there is to be a match winner, where on earth does it come from? Good question, Julia, hey?
Good question, well done. I don't have the answer yet. Well, I think no one does. I think, to be honest, it could be Girassi, it could be Johnny Burkhardt, it could be on both ends. It can be Can Uzun, can be also Silva Chukwuemeka. It's just that lucky punch, that one pass, that one last action to finish strong, be clinical in the decisive moments where you have to have the power, the energy ready to make a good decision and not to let the exhaustion ruin your energy. And this is what you need, what I mentioned before, is these leaders that give you the punch, also the energy and also the emotions, because it's mentally tough now, but also physically. You see the players just stretching, getting down, getting some energy, getting some drinks in, some gels, power gels, but still you have some decisive players on the pitch that can make the difference.
So here we go then. Final 15 minutes. Of a cup tie that has kept everybody glued to the action. May not have been pretty at times, but still the tension is absolutely rife inside Deutsche Bank Park. Is it won in this period or beyond through penalties? We shall soon find out. Here is Girassi with Bellingham. Reyes on as Borussia Dortmund are attacking their fans at this period now, 6,000 of them. Lidstone. be... Well, in fact, it was Ellie Skiri, I beg your pardon, on the stretch. Chukwuemeka. Maybe. Frankfurt. What a sight here at Deutsche Bank Park, one of the true great cathedrals of football. Some extraordinary nights here for these fans. It doesn't matter how they go through, as long as they do go through to the next round. Straight touch, that's Girassi. The boy is down at the minute. Niklas Süle, look at this for a run. He's back up on his feet now, that's been well timed, a challenge. And this is Burkhardt. Frustrations of Raison down on the deck, but from this challenge, oh yeah, just caught with the follow through.
Yeah. Also very painful, two very painful situations. You can relate to both players, the pain they must feel, but both are standing again on their feet and no fouls there. Well seen and well managed from the referee again. But yeah, little moments like this now, landing on someone's foot, stepping on someone's foot, is a bit of a signal or sign of being tired now in some moments where you can't control the last step the opponent's doing. So just coming now with the extra time and the clock running down.
Did you have a few landing on the top of your foot?
Yes.
In your career? One or two times?
Yeah, and I think when you see the feet of a footballer, whether it's a male or female one, you don't find many nails on the toes, because it's just so painful, these moments when you lose a nail again, someone landed on your foot. Just part of it, I guess.
Süle. Anton and Schlotterbeck. Fabio Silva. Bellingham Mecha. Just not to go to the right, but they might do on this occasion now. As everyone around us up on their feet in support of Eintracht Frankfurt. Schlotterbeck. Raison can't get the better of Brown, who has been terrific tonight. Back to that sort of left back, left wing back role. He's midfielder in his early years. That's a risky one for him. Fabio Silva for Girassi now. Just couldn't get it out of his feet. Chukwuemeka. Reyes on. Great turn, Reyes on. And Koch cutting it out. Wonderful play. And very nearly the end product.
Yes, and you have to give big compliments to both teams, really. The way they track back each player, always a lot of players in their own box to defend and trying to, whether you're a defender or you're offensive midfielder or winger, you're just finding a way back, and that's on both ends and both teams, and that's speaking for the discipline and the motivation today for both teams to really defend till the end of the game.
The rain falling here in Frankfurt just to add to the drama.
Yeah, very dramatic atmosphere as well. A typical cup night in Germany.
On a 2v1, they've won it back here, Eintracht Frankfurt, and a yellow card for Fabio Silva.
Impressive to see Nene Brown, the way everyone looks so exhausted. Apart from him, he's just floating around, and it seems so effortless. Still in the 100, almost 15th minute, still full of energy, and he's just making a great game.
They sense something here, the Eintracht Frankfurt support. Burkhardt waits to write his own history here at Eintracht Frankfurt, being Mainz's all-time top scorer. In from Doan, oh, and it has found its way in! And it is the man of the moment! Or is it? Flag up! Oh, goodness me! Can you believe this?
Yeah. Right decision from the referee, and I think in this moment the linesman was just hoping that he took the right decision by putting up that flag, otherwise he knew he's going to be in trouble. Killing that moment of pure joy with a lot of fans, a lot of players. The bench was up, but right decision, well done. Big compliment to the referee team again.
He's barely had a sniff tonight, has he, Johnny Burkhardt? But he thought that was his time. I don't think he needs too much of it. It somehow got over the line. But listen to this place right now. 5 more minutes to play, just over. You include stoppage time, and Eintracht Frankfurt, as Burkhardt's offside again here. Maybe they feel some sort of ascendancy. Let's just calm down a little bit.
He needs to concentrate there. Yeah, I think he's right again, if we can say this from this perspective.
Reservation on the turn, seemingly tripping over his own feet. He stayed down as well here as Reservation. Chukwuemeka and Bellingham for Fabio Silva. Nowhere to go. But they've earned it back well, hunting them down. Maybe that was just the warning shot as well for Dortmund. Oh, Nico Schlotterbeck. Well, he is capable of that. I remember him scoring an absolute worldie in his Freiburg days against Wolfsburg a couple of years ago. Very nearly coming up trumps here.
And And he's definitely one for these moments, taking a shot from this distance with his great left foot. And here we can see again the offside position, which is absolutely on spot from the referees.
It just seemed to hit
technique. He wasn't ready for that one.
Schlotterbeck marshalling things. I think he wants a change made here. Play through for now, I think, or Fatamar Anton.
He needed a little bit of extra help.
This is how you do it. I'm just wondering whether Niko Kovac, has he got anybody ready?
I don't think so.
Not possible, he says not possible. This is how it happened over in the corner. That's possibly a twist of the ankle there. He just said, I can't go on. Header comes to nothing from Nico Schlotterbeck. Going for the same ball here, Zula and Rezon. Might just be focusing some of your attack down that left side if you're Eintracht Frankfurt now. As Michy Batshuayi, one of 5 names within the squad of Eintracht Frankfurt, once upon a time playing for Borussia Dortmund. And a player who came on as a sub is now going off.
Interesting decision. Probably a bit unexpected for Bahoya as well. If he's fit and healthy, something you don't like to experience as a player.
Yeah, I'm sure. So Michy Batshuayi came to the club back in January. There it is, 6 months at Borussia Dortmund on loan from Chelsea at the time. 2018 it was. Pretty good return, 7 goals in 10 for Batshuayi. Possibly looking at penalties and one of your best penalty takers on the pitch as well. The reason behind one of that change. 1 additional minute we are well into now. And that is that. So we will go the distance. A penalty shootout to determine this second round tie in the DFB-Pokal. Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Borussia Dortmund 1 after 120 minutes. And the lottery of a shootout to determine who goes through. Julia, 120 minutes, grueling minutes. And so now it is down to just one kick of a football from a penalty spot.
I think everyone apart from Reservation will be able to to kick that ball from the spot, but now it's more a thing of a mental mindset really. Who's the character now? Who's the profile who's taking the pressure on themselves and who's ready and feels ready and safe to take it, and also obviously managing the goalkeepers, knowing about the opponent. Are there some takers which you have some details, some infos, and normally if you prepared well and on that level, all the goalkeeper coaches know everything because they prepare for that moment, everything about a potential penalty shooter from the opponent team.
Yeah, how often do we see water bottles with stickers on them of who's going to be placing their penalties where. Uddhav watching on, and you just wonder who has got whatever left in the tank to get beyond a penalty shootout. The last time that Eintracht Frankfurt were involved in one, it ended pretty well in Seville. Europa League glory. Did you enjoy the thoughts of taking part in? No, you're shaking your head at me.
Horrible.
No. What a silly question to ask you.
Horrible. Whether as a player and now also as a coach, I had it a couple of times already, whether my player's career or coaching career is like not horrible, but it's so nervy, you're on the edge. It's like, it can be such a drama, it can be pure joy. It's, yeah, whether it falls to your end or on the other side, it's pure joy or just a very horrible night.
But this is just purely a mental game now.
Yeah, a mental game and also a bit of luck as well, especially regarding the goalkeepers. Are you in the right side? Are you in a good moment? Can you scare the penalty taker a bit? Do you put the momentum on your side? It's so tricky, such a mind game as well.
And the emphasis on goalkeepers as well. For Borussia Dortmund, last two occasions they've taken part in the penalty shootout, it hasn't gone down very well. They've been on the wrong end of defeats in the Cup and Super Cup. I think it's got to be taken down at the end where the Borussia Dortmund fans are situated. Gregor Kobel and Michael Thackeray. What have you got in you left to maybe become heroes? So first up it will be Borussia Dortmund. Fabio Silva, Michael Thackeray will stand in his way, a goalkeeper who's never even saved a penalty in the Bundesliga. So the first penalty in the shootout. It will be Fabio Silva for Borussia Dortmund. And he makes it count. A terrific nerve settler.
Calm and easy. Perfect. No chance for the goalkeeper.
So next up is Shivsena. Player who has lit up the Bundesliga this season. Gregor Kobel standing right in front of him. Shivsena puts it away. Cool and as calm as you like.
Yeah, he's born for these moments. If he can score a goal, he would never miss that chance.
So 1 from 1. And next up, Niklas Zula for Dortmund. Oh, and he squeezes it beyond Michael Zetterer.
Very close right corner, but very precise, taken from Niklas Süle.
Litz Doan, who announced himself at Eintracht Frankfurt with goals in round one. Oh, he's blazed it! He has blazed it over! As the pendulum swings Dortmund's way.
And not even close, right? It was wide on top of the bar.
The first blot from the Eintracht Frankfurt. A shootout sheet, if you like. And so Kani Chukwuemeka, Schlotterbeck can barely watch. Chukwuemeka puts it right in the corner. They are 3 from 3, Dortmund. You don't save those.
No, if they hit the inner net, the side net, you probably don't have a chance.
So this is now needed. Michy Batshuayi brought on 4 penalties, and he stuck that one away with absolute perfection and authority, and against his former team keeps Eintracht Frankfurt alive in the shootout. Felix Metscher next up to send Borussia Dortmund 1 step closer to the 3rd round. And coolly rolls it in, no problems. And they're getting closer and closer now.
Perfect, with a little jump in between to make it hard for the goalkeeper to react.
Well, Faris Shaibi to at least extend the shootout. This needs to go in. Shaibi saved! And it's Dortmund who go through! Gregor Kobel stepping up. And Borussia Dortmund make their way into the 3rd round. Disappointment, despair for Dino Topmüller and for Eintracht Frankfurt. But the sheer jubilation amongst those 6,000 travelling fans, and for Borussia Dortmund, who finally win a penalty shootout. They've done so here. An impeccable record in the shootout, and they have got the job done over Eintracht Frankfurt here tonight. 1-1 after 120 minutes, and Dortmund 100% from the spot in the shootout, and on they go as they look to get closer to Berlin. Well, cue the celebrations, Julia Simic. It's always sweet when you win a shootout, yes. And for Borussia Dortmund here, they kept their nerve, and then they had their goalkeeper to thank right at the end.
Oh, definitely, and I think the scenes, the picture speaks for themselves. You don't need many words to put that in place. A dramatic story around Litz Doan, obviously JB as well, who missed it. But it's that moment that you miss it, and then you feel the momentum leaving to the other side, and Dortmund then just were very clinical, cool in front of the goal at the 12-yard penalty shootout. It's just something mentally, being strong, having the nerves, and then you can celebrate and enjoy it. And then penalty shootouts are the best thing you can experience, really, if you win them. If you lose them, if you lose them, then it's like this, and no words needed. What can you say? Very disappointing for a very good Eintracht Frankfurt side. I think tonight they had a good performance on the pitch until the last minute, and then it's probably unlucky.
Oh, they've got one over Eintracht Frankfurt again, as they did when they met in a DFB-Pokal final. But this was the moment. Chaibi couldn't get the better of Gregor Kobel. Not quite in the corner, and Kobel standing up and being Dortmund's hero. Great scenes for Dortmund here. This is the round of 16 in the DFB-Pokal. On the way to the final in 2017, if they won a penalty shootout, it was against Hertha on that occasion. This will hurt Dino Topmüller and Eintracht Frankfurt for sure, ending this way. But take it all in, Borussia Dortmund. Celebrating like they've won the cup already.
Yeah, it was like a early stage final.
Over the 120 minutes, what are you making of where both of these two teams are at the minute? It's been quite the extreme start to the season for both.
Oh, definitely. I think it was a game on eye level. You could see that in every phase of the game. Both teams played a very good game in my eyes, very good performances, defensively strong, stable. Yeah, little moments where you probably lost a bit of concentration, but in total I think Frankfurt can be very proud of the performance, especially defensively. They didn't give Dortmund many spaces, many opportunities to score. They defended very well, very stable as a whole team, and Dortmund at the same time exactly the same. They were waiting for the right moment to threat in behind as well and become dangerous and create chances, and especially in the second half a bit more than in the first. And I think it was a 50-50 game as we expected beforehand, with not too many chances but with a lot of control, a lot of game management, and with a unlucky Frankfurt side and a very happy Dortmund side.
A picture perfect moment for Borussia Dortmund here, who have beaten Eintracht Frankfurt and who have been beaten at home in the DFB-Pokal for the first time in 11 years. Right back to 2014 when they lost to Borussia Mönchengladbach. And Lidstøen, that moment he will want to get out of his system very, very quickly. And that's what they're going to have to do, isn't it? Dust themselves down now and head on into the weekend on a trip to Heidenheim.
Yeah, and that's so important now, to get the mental switch, to get that game in the back of your head, not thinking about it too much, yeah, analyzing it, but then more important, get fresh legs again, regenerate well, get energy back, have a good night of sleep, eat well, drink well. That's something that's so important, to just get it done and get the new job done as well. That's the thing where a young team like Eintracht Frankfurt can learn from, and where they have to develop, because they're not in that rhythm yet. They don't know this rhythm. A lot of players are quite new to that rhythm, playing back on every single week, every 3 or 4 days. That's something that you have to manage, and your body has to manage, but also you have to manage, and also dealing with the frustration, especially with Lidstøen, especially Fares Chaibi, and then grow from it as a team and do it together.
And it starts with Heidenheim at the weekend, as Borussia Dortmund to Bavaria to take on Augsburg on Friday night to kick off the match day 9 in the Bundesliga. They'll be feeling pretty rotten now, Lidstoan, but let's not forget just how quality a footballer he really is, and what he did for Freiburg, and what he will probably end up doing for Eintracht Frankfurt. But for Gregor Kobel, knew exactly where Faris Shaibi was putting it, and cue those celebrations. For Jonathan Burkhardt, he thought he'd won it, hadn't he, when he scored in extra time and a shoulder offside, and it had been absolutely his moment, having scored so many goals for Eintracht Frankfurt at the start of this season since his arrival at the club. This is a young team. Ansgar Knauf shaking the head, give his team the lead against his former club in 7 minutes. It was a game of few major chances. There was some saves that you would expect goalkeepers to make in the game, Julia, wasn't there? But in the end, it just wasn't to be for Eintracht Frankfurt. So a dramatic end to this round 2 clash in the DFB-Pokal between Eintracht Frankfurt and Borussia Dortmund, 2 former winners. And for Borussia Dortmund, they stay on the road to Berlin. A clash which was worthy of being a final. These two have met in the showpiece once before, and it was Eintracht Frankfurt who took the lead early on. Goetze for Knauf, coming back to haunt their former clubs in combination, and Knauf slotted it away on 7 minutes to give Eintracht Frankfurt the most perfect lead. Borussia Dortmund offered very little in the first half I should say, but in the second half they came out firing, and Julian Rezon's pass here was absolutely on the money, and it was Julian Brandt to level the occasion right after the interval. Gregor Kobel was beaten here, but not the frame of his goal, as Lidstoan smashed this effort across against the crossbar. It was a more open affair in the second half, and Michael Zetterer, this really the only save that he had to make in the whole of the game. From range again, Faris Shaibi here, thwarted by Gregor Kobel, and then they thought they'd won it here, Eintracht Frankfurt. Jonathan Burkhardt went off celebrating, but the flag would come to Dortmund's rescue, and it was to be the correct call to rule out the goal. To a shootout we went, and it was Lidstoan who blazed over the first miss of the shootout, and then Faris Shaibi unable to beat Gregor Kobel after Dortmund had been 100% from the spot. So sheer joy for Borussia Dortmund through to the third round, something they were unable to do last year as they fell at this hurdle. And on they go with the hope of going all the way to Berlin. Let's get some reaction then. Julian Rezon is ready to talk to us.
Julian,
Julian, first of all, congratulations. These penalty shootouts are always a bit nerve-wracking. And your goalkeeper, he's the man of the match. I guess shout out to Gregor Kobel because he saved the penalty of Shaibi, right?
Yeah, he did. And also the guys that put in the penalties, nobody missed. Yeah, I was trusting the quality of Greg and he showed it in the most important time. And he's done it many times before. And yeah, it's good to have him on our team.
How do you assess your performance during the 90 minutes before and the extra time?
First half not so good, to be honest. Didn't create that much. Second half we come out differently, get our goal, and it's a fight. It's a tough stadium to come to away. We stay in the game the whole time, the whole 120 minutes, and in the end we got away with what we came here for, the win.
Following Borussia Dortmund this season, you can see that you're playing a consistent and stable season so far. So how important is it to go to the next round in the Cup?
It's very important. The Cup is a trophy we want. That's why we're in this competition, and we want to go for it. So to go out in the second round wouldn't be what we wish for.
Thank you so much. Best for you. Bye.
My thanks to Julia Simic alongside me for this one tonight, where Borussia Dortmund make their way through to the third round of the DFB-Pokal. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Julian, first of all, congratulations. You had to follow the penalty shootout from the bench. How was that perspective?
Well, it was my first time